Here I come. Hello, sports fans, sports collectors, and all hobbyists. Welcome to the Card King Sports and Variety Show. I am your host, the Catman, Brian Cataquet, a.k.a. the Card King. We are live on ABC's KMET 1490am.com. Your number one spot right here for news and talk on the West Coast. I thank everyone for tuning in this morning. And we are awaiting a call from a guest, so we will see if he calls in. If not, there's so much to talk about in the world of sports cards. Man, I tell you, eBay has shown an increase of 4 million trading cards sold in 2020, the year of the pandemic. And I can tell you that in my years of doing this and being involved in this hobby, I have never seen a business boom and thrive so quickly in the last year as this past year and a half with sports cards. I tell you, let's start with some of the hobby news briefs. The hobby and industry has been talking about the auction sale, and you can look all this up. Everywhere you look online, there is news on sports cards, whether it's TMC Sports, the New York Times, CBS, and so on. There is articles every day, every 2 days on the booming, escalated prices of sports cards. The hobby and industry has been talking about the recent sale, which took place last week from an auction company in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and it's a sale for a 1933 Gaudy gum card of Babe Ruth, 33 Gaudy gum card of Babe Ruth, which sold at auction in Pennsylvania, again, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, for $761,000. $761,000 for a 33 Gaudy gum card of Babe Ruth, which was signed. This is a world record for this particular card, as this sale was picked up by national news outlets like TMC Sports and other national outlets. The strength of Babe Ruth cards and this hobby and business, as I just mentioned, over the course of 2020 remains pivotal. It remains pivotal and strong as an investment option. I tell you, it remains so strong that reports have also surfaced that billionaire Mark Cuban, along with other athletes such as Kevin Durant and actors as Mark Wahlberg and other pro athletes, have injected $40 million of their own money into the sports card and memorabilia industry to an auction firm in New Jersey. So picture that. I'll repeat it again. The business is so strong. Mark Wahlberg, Mark Cuban, Kevin Durant, and other NBA players have injected $40 million of their own money to get involved in the sports card and memorabilia business, and they injected that money to an auction firm in New Jersey. You can read more about that online. That shows you that the sports card and memorabilia industry is no longer child's play. It's no longer child's play. And the reporting has been astronomical over the last year and a half. I'm going to tell you right now that even The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, if you look at his Twitter feed, there was a rookie card of The Rock in which is shown during his college years. Now, he played football. And one of his college football cards fetched for $45,100. It's a 1994 Miami Bumblebee perforated Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson rookie card. It was graded professionally, graded 10 gem mint. And this card of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson a couple of weeks ago fetched for $45,100. And on The Rock's Instagram feed, not Twitter, his Instagram feed, The Rock, and I quote, states, "This story of how my University of Miami football cards value continues to rise has become so surreal to me." So even The Rock football card, his rookie, during his college years. Collectors are spending in the thousands of dollars. And one sold a couple of weeks ago for $45,100. Amazing, amazing feat. Now, I tell you, I received a correspondence this week, and it was from an outlet. And the outlet asked me on how much would a Tiger Woods card be worth. I can tell you this, and we hope Tiger gets well and recuperates from his tragic car accident. So I received, sometimes I get correspondence from other news outlets, and they wanted to ask me, or they wanted to see how much would a Tiger Woods rookie card or one of his cards sell for. And I can tell you this, that a couple of months ago, there was an auction in Dallas, Texas, and they offered a Sports Illustrated card, which was an insert card done by Sports Illustrated back in 1996. For those of you listening to the program and subscribe to Sports Illustrated back in 1996, you may want to go check your attics and see if you have this issue, because it's actually a Sports Illustrated for Kids issue. Sports Illustrated for Kids back in 1996. Now, this card sold at an auction for $26,400, and it's a again, I repeat it, 1996 SI for Kids issue. In that issue of Sports Illustrated for Kids, Sports Illustrated inserted an uncut sheet of 9 cards, and one of those cards contains the Tiger Woods rookie, because he began in 1996 professionally, and it's considered his rookie card. So one of those sold for $26,400. So there you go. If you're listening to the program, that's how much you can generate for a Tiger Woods 1996 SI for Kids. And again, the issue is December 1996. It's a 9-card uncut sheet, features Larry Johnson on the cover of the magazines. You may want to go check and see if you have this issue. Features Larry Johnson of the New York Knicks on the cover of the magazine signing an autograph. So again, if you're listening to the show, you want to look for that December 1996 issue of SI for Kids, and in that issue, you will see you will find an uncut 9-card sheet featuring a $26,400 card of the legendary Tiger Woods. And we hope Tiger Woods, as I mentioned, recuperates quickly. Now, as I started the program, there's been reports during 2020 that eBay has shown an increase of 4 million trading cards sold in 2020. Now, nearly all the sports cards saw a notable growth during the COVID pandemic 2020. The biggest gainers on eBay, this may come as a shock to you, but as far as sports cards are concerned, the biggest gainers on eBay were soccer cards and basketball cards. Soccer cards and basketball cards. Soccer cards showed an increase of 1,586% in 2020 over past years. That is amazing. And basketball cards showed a gain of 373% year over year. No wonder why athletes and celebrities are getting involved in this fan craze of sports cards. And I tell you, some of the popularity that eBay has seen during the 2020 year were increase of sales of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Zion Williamson. The most popular non-NBA player was Mike Trout. And we mentioned it here. I mentioned it here months ago on my show, telling you some of the prices for the Mike Trout rookie card, which ranks number 2 as the most valuable sports card in existence. One sold for $3.9 million, a 2009 Chrome Mike Trout autograph card, which is ranked number 2. So I've been mentioning it here on this program, and when I talk about sports cards, when I don't have any guests on, I speak about sports cards, and I've been telling you this 6 months ago and going through some of the sales, they've been astronomical, and I've never seen anything like it before. The hobby's never seen anything like it before, and it's all new cards. It's all modern day cards, which is amazing. But trading card sales in other countries on eBay during the 2020 pandemic year grew 162% overall. 162% overall, with Australia growing 379%, and China showing a 205% increase in significant rise in card sales during the 2020 on eBay. And it's amazing. And also there's reports according to eBay that Pokemon cards have been escalating and booming in sales as well. Pokemon. So I mentioned it here in December of 2020, a 79 OPG, which is a Canadian brand version of the Topps company, a 79 OPG Wayne Gretzky rookie sold for $1.29 million at auction, making it the most expensive hockey card ever purchased. And that was December 2020. Last month, a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle rookie card, graded a 9, high grade 9, sold for $5.2 million. $5.2 million, making it now in the world the most valuable baseball card, sports card in this industry. It exceeded the Mike Trout rookie card. So the most expensive sports card known to date is a 52 Topps Mantle rookie, which sold for $5.2 million. And that's a world record setting price. Largest transaction for a sports card of all time. That's the number 1 most valuable card in the world. Number 2 is the Trout, 2009. So the business, if you like sports, there's not a better time to get involved in dabbling in sports cards than right now. And the way to do it is go on to eBay, go on to Amazon, go on to Facebook, go on to these websites that offer sports cards for sale. You want to buy unopened packs. And you can buy the modern day packs, or you can buy the early 1980s unopened packs. They're very, very hot. You open up the packs, you get the cards graded, because that's where the revenue is. If the grade comes back a 9 or 10, near mint to mint, you will have some money. On the telephone line, I welcome in a legendary NFL player. We welcome in Karl Mecklenburg. Karl, Brian C., thanks so much for your time.
Sure, Brian. How are you this morning?
Very well. Karl, I had so much to talk about. I have a few minutes left. I wanted to begin. It's been documented that growing up in Minneapolis, no one believed you would turn out to be an all-pro football star, but you sure proved everyone wrong, huh?
Yeah, no, I was not a great player as a kid. I was a JV player as a junior in high school. I was a college walk-on at Minnesota. I was the 310th pick of the draft. No, I was not the guy that was the golden boy that was supposed to make it.
Well, 1983, big year for you. You were 12th round pick, 310th pick overall. Where were you at the time you first heard the news that you were going to be drafted to the NFL?
Well, it was the second day of the draft, midnight. I was asleep. My phone rang, and it was the secretary for the Broncos, Jenny Ann. So it wasn't even a coach. So she said, "We're going to send you an airline ticket. Come on out to Denver. We drafted you." So that was it. And I knew there was interest. I would have gotten a free agent contract. Probably would have made more money if I was a free agent than if I was a 12th round pick. But it worked out good.
Now, early in your pro career, 1984, you started as a defensive end. You moved to linebacker. Was that a difficult transition for you?
Yeah, it's a challenge. You know, I was drafted as a nose guard. I played defensive tackle at the University of Minnesota. I was at a Division II school before that and played defensive end. So I'd already moved, but standing up and moving back off the ball was an adjustment. I still lined up over the guard most of the time, so the reads were kind of similar. But all of a sudden being involved in pass coverage and being off the ball, just standing up makes it very different.
Yeah, and by 1985, you already became a star in the NFL, performing at 7 positions. Do you feel being as versatile as you were, that was a factor in earning respect in the league?
Well, I think so. I did something nobody's really done, play all 7 front positions, and that's a credit to Coach Joe Collier, the defensive coordinator with the Broncos. Merle Moore was the linebacker coach. Stan Jones was the defensive line coach. They all kind of came together and said, you know, I was a very good pass rusher. That's how I made the team. And they could get mismatches by moving me around, or if they anticipated the play going one direction or the other direction, they'd put me over there. And it was pretty amazing. And my teammates, truthfully, I mean, it's hard enough to learn one position in the NFL. Everyone had to learn 2, because when I moved, then they had to move. So it was an adjustment for everybody, but it worked out well for us. We had some of the top defenses in the league for years there, during that time period.
And Karl, I don't know if you recall, there was one game you played against the Pittsburgh Steelers in which you lined up in every position with the exception of cornerback and safety. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was an interesting game. That was the first time they moved me to outside linebacker, and I ended up with 4 sacks, and a bunch of stuff went well that game, so they stuck with the plan. So I got to move around a lot after that, and like I said, fortunately we had a bright team where everyone could learn two positions, and didn't take it personally when Joe moved me around. I think everyone understood it wasn't my choice, but it was a great opportunity for me. He's trying to put me at the point of attack. As a defensive player, there's no place you'd rather be.
Yeah, and this is why I believe you meant so much to Coach Dan Reeves, because I remember reading an article that Coach Reeves said once, you and Elway are untouchable. You can touch everyone else, but you and Elway are untouchable. How was playing for Coach Dan Reeves?
You know, Dan was a solid coach. He was a guy that would put you in a position to win games. You know, he was he wasn't gonna he was gonna a lot of 3 yards in a cloud of dust on offense because we had such a good defense, and get a turnover here and turnover there, keep the game close. And with 2 minutes left, Elway was as good as there was ever with 2 minutes left, and then we'd end up winning more games than we'd lose for sure.
And you mentioned Elway. I believe you were quoted once as saying Elway was the best competitor you ever saw. Is that fair to say? Yeah,
that is fair. I mean, John was driven to win. I think that's one of the reasons that he and Coach Reeves didn't get along as well as as you would hope towards the end of his career, because he was a really good football mind, a guy who. Once again, in the 2-minute drill was unbelievable. And the 2-minute drill back then was basically what the whole game is now. You know, they're throwing the ball all over the place and running around and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So, and John in today's game would have been unbelievable.
Now, I want to play a quick highlight of yours, and it's definitely one of your all-time classics. It's a game in 1984, early in your career, in which you provided one of the most dominating hits of all time. Let's hear it.
For a lot of years now, twice a year. He loves the game.
And has a history of big plays against the Raiders. 1st and 10, Plunkett with a lot of time, but he's running out of it. Loops, oh, man. Incomplete pass.
Marcus Allen still on the ground after that devastating shot.
If he isn't tough, he's up.
This is the physical nature of this rivalry.
Man.
You said it earlier, they don't like each other. At the top part of your screen now, just a leveling shot right there. Mecklenburg, crack. Another shot right there. Karl Mecklenburg, who's played both defensive line and linebacker. He just absolutely...
Amazing. Karl Mecklenburg wrecked one of the all-time classic hits. What do you remember most about that game? That was early in your career, 84, 85, I believe.
Yeah, it was a big game for us. The Raiders were our black and we were white. You know, they were our whoever won that game won the second game. Whoever won both games won the division and was in the playoffs, and the other team wasn't. So that game was big. We ended up winning that game and going on a run and winning 6 or 7 games in a row and winning the division that year. And it was a big play for me. That was my first game ever playing linebacker in the NFL or anywhere. And ironically, they grade every play based on assignment on technique. And I got a minus on assignment because you weren't supposed to bite up on the short route, but I got a plus on technique. So that was, and from then on, I was starting at linebacker for the team. So that it was a big play all around for the team, for me individually. So it was the Fox Television Sports listed that as one of the top 10 hits in NFL history. It's kind of my. And to have it happen so early in my career was surprising, but it's kind of my signature hit, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, and I got to ask you, now you were nicknamed the Albino Rhino, correct?
Yeah. That's,
so, how did you get that nickname?
Yeah, the snow goose, the albino. It's funny and they followed me from college. Those were nicknames that I was given in college, and It's if something embarrassing happens to you and someone's going to give you a nickname and it's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. It's kind of followed me all the way here, and still people, you know, like you just said, people bring it up all the time. So that's cool. It's fun to have a nickname. My name's too long, so nickname makes it fun.
So 3-time Super Bowl competitor, Colorado Sports Hall of Famer. That must have been a special moment in your life, Karl, getting inducted to the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame, huh?
Yeah, it was. You know, when you're playing the game, you're trying to get healthy for the next game. You're trying to prepare. You're trying to make a play one at a time. But when you're done, to have those kind of accolades thrown at you, it's pretty neat. I played my hardest. I loved playing the game. I loved my teammates. Loved the city, the fans here, and having the opportunity to play my whole career in one place is a rare thing, and I'm very thankful for it.
And I just want to note a few of your achievements. Super Bowl 21 versus the Giants, you led the Broncos defense with 13 tackles that game. It must have been very special playing in the Super Bowl, huh? 3 times.
You know, yeah, I don't have very many good memories of the Super Bowls because we lost all 3 of them.
Right.
But having the opportunity to play is something that was special, and having my family out there. And competing. Anytime you compete, there's a chance you're going to lose, regardless of how good you are. And there were reasons we lost all 3 games. Each one of them was different too. That game, was amazing the way Parcells changed everything. And we went into that game knowing that 1st and 10 they were going to run 99% of the time. 2nd and 5 or more, it was a pass. 5 or less, it was a run. I mean, it was as laid out and as obvious as any team I'd ever played against. Their tendencies were rock solid. And we overloaded to everything they tried to do. And I mean, based on history that whole year. And Parcells went into that game and saw that we overloaded depending on your tendencies and changed everything. I mean, 1st and 10, they were probably 70% pass. I mean, everything changed. And because we had overloaded and anytime you overload something, you're giving up something else, they took advantage of that. So, and we didn't adjust. So it was a frustrating game. Every time, we're in a run defense, they're passing. Every time we're in a pass defense, they're running.
And you played 11 years. You miss being out there, Karl? You miss competing, huh?
I don't. 12 years. But I did. When it was time, it was time. My body was done. I've had 18 football-related surgeries. I've had 10 knee surgeries. I mean, I was not a fast guy to start with. That's why I was a 12th-round draft choice. I made up for that with decisiveness. I found out early on if you can take the first step in the right direction before anybody else does, all the angles change in your favor. And that was my game. I was gonna react properly and more quickly than you do, and when that happens, I'm gonna make the play. So it was fun while it lasted, but at the end there, my body wouldn't hold up any longer.
And I have just a few seconds left. The Mecklenburg and Rulon Jones tandem, that tandem was unstoppable.
Yeah, Rue was special now. Rue was as good a one-on-one pass rusher as I ever saw. And when they're concerned about you trying to double you, then they forget about the guy next to you. So I got a lot of opportunities with Rue. We ran a lot of stunts. He'd go first and I'd come around, or I'd go first and he'd come around, and yeah, we had fun together for sure. Just get him in a passing situation and let us go.
Well, listen, I really appreciate your time. It was an honor to have you on the program.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Take care.
Take care of yourself. That was the legendary Denver Broncos, Karl Mecklenburg. Until next week, happy collecting to all.